Hey everybody and Spyder lovers out there. So today we're going to take a look at Lamonster Garage's Rugged Geek IntelliBoost Power Pack / Jump Pack. So in this video I'm going to show you what's in the box, and then we'll come back. I'm going to talk about some technical information and do a comparo with another unit that I have. So that said, let's take a look at what's in the box. And basically you get the box and the unit is on top, and so we'll take that out of the bag and have a look. And I'm going to talk about the ports and what it does, and again part of the comparison will kind of show some neat features of this unit. Alright, then once you pull that off and come inside, got your instruction manual as always. I ask people to read the manual. I know a lot don't, but maybe this video will help too. Alright, you've got a wall wart charger. Alright, you've got a 12-volt charger, so you can charge it from your car if needed. Alright, you've got the jumper cable unit. This is for jumping your Spyder or a car or anything else. I'll talk more technically about this in a little bit. You've got a nice little bag to keep it in, and they give you these universal USB connectors, which gives you micro USB, USB mini, and Apple. Alright, so that's for that. So those are the cables inside, and that's the box. So with that, I'm going to come back. I'm going to do a little comparison with another unit that I have had for a while, which is an anti-gravity battery. And I'm going to show you the pros and cons, or actually the benefits of the Lamonster unit over this. I bought this about 2 years ago for $159. Lamonster's currently selling his for $109, so that's a bargain right there. I did go online and look at the gravity battery one. It's still going for about $150 from them. I'm sure you could probably find it cheaper, but Lamont sells this right out of the get-go at $109. So that's a really good deal. But anyway, let me come back and let's do a comparison. Okay, so first let's talk about the ports on the unit, how you turn it on and that kind of thing. So basically this is your input. This is where you plug your charger, whether it be the wall wart or the 12-volt, and that's how you charge it. You've got two USB outputs. Both support up to 2.1 amps. So if you've got an iPad or a iPhone 6 Plus or 7, it can definitely handle it for you. And then you have an output here, and this is usually for powering a laptop or other accessories. Now, one thing I will tell you is when you open up the manual, you'll see the basic package contents, which does not include the cables for this output. And then there's the extreme package, which comes with this cable and these different tips for different laptops. I think for what Lamonster's selling this for, which is basically USB charge power and your Spyder, this stuff is really not needed. And by the way, on my other gravity unit, I've never used them to power a laptop or anything like, or try to charge a laptop. So I've never even used these accessories. Alright, so just letting you know, if you look at your instruction and wonder where your other cables are, there's two different units that are offered with different cables. Alright, now to turn it on, this is a really cool feature that I like, and I'll show you the difference with the anti-gravity. Is you turn it on and nothing really happens, right? You don't get a display or anything like that. To kick it off and get the display, you press this button, and that really kicks it off. And then at that point, you can hook up your USB, or, and this is something I didn't show what's in the box, but this is the port where you plug in your jumper cable should you need to jump your car or your Spyder. And again, this adapter cable gizmo plugs in there, all right, with your jumps. Okay, so that's what that port is. All right, so, and as you see, if you've got nothing plugged in, the unit turns off right away. So that's kind of a neat feature. I will tell you on the anti-gravity, when you turn it on, you just get these bars, and if you don't have anything plugged in, it will time out itself. But there's no accidental switch. So what happens is, if you're carrying this around and it's bouncing around, it keeps getting, if this button gets bumped, it keeps getting turned on. All right, another feature of the unit is the flashlight. So if we turn it on and we hit the button and get the display, By the way, another neat feature I like about this, unlike the anti-gravity, is this only shows bars. So these are 20% increments. So I've always wondered, if you're down 2, does that mean you're below 80, above 60 somewhere? This is much more accurate and lets you know the charge condition of the unit. All right, and then you've got a flashlight on here, so you can, if you hold down the button, you can turn on the flashlight once, press it again, it'll turn into a flashing, press it again, it'll turn into a fast flashing and off. Pretty much the same with the anti-gravity, but again, hitting this button. So again, if you've got this bouncing around, let me show you what happens, and you hit this, and it's somehow holding the button, the light can turn on, and I've actually come out to mine and found it dead, all right, from this thing getting bumped. So this neat feature here of having an on-off switch and a button is, I think, a great improvement over the anti-gravity. All right, so that's kind of the ports and how you use everything. So let me talk about this a little bit. So this one, pardon me here, this one, let me read this. This one is it's better on the box. My eyes aren't that good, pardon me here. I should have been more prepared. So this one is rated at, now it's interesting, these use lithium batteries. So most devices will rate them at milliamp hours, but these units rate them at watt hour. So this one's 39, and the anti-gravity is 44. So what that means is, if you wanted to look up how to change watt hours to milliamp hours, this is about 250 more milliamp hours in this battery. But here is the huge difference. I have tried to, I know this will start my Spyder, it'll also start my 6-cylinder SUV. It would not start my wife's Lincoln MKZ 6-cylinder because, and I'm guessing, because it's harder to turn over. Also on that car, the minute you turn the key on, a bunch of lights inside turn on. This thing was totally incapable of starting my wife's Lincoln MKZ. Of course, I have not tried this one yet because I haven't needed to jumper. But based on the specs, here's the big difference. This thing will give a peak surge, or what you call peak current of 1,000 amps output. While this one, its maximum peak was only 400 amps at peak current. So 400 amps, and this one's 1,000 amps at peak. So this thing, I got a feeling, will probably maybe start an 8-cylinder car as well as my wife's MKZ. So what do you really use this for? I have used it when on a trip to charge phones, but really I keep this in my Spyder because I actually have killed my Spyder battery before. When you park and leave the key on, the lights stay on for a while, all that kind of thing, and eventually the Spyder will turn off on its own even with the key on. But I have actually had where I go to start after doing that and it wouldn't turn over, and I had to jump it. So at that time I was carrying this unit, but the bottom line is these are really helpful should that happen. Plus, if you're on the road with other people, be it other motorcycles or whatever, and their battery needs a jump, this comes in extremely handy. I have jumped other Spyders myself while on rides with people. So to me, this is a must carry, in my opinion, on your Spyder. And if I drive somewhere in my car, I'll remove it from my Spyder and put it in my car and carry it with me. So the only thing I will add that the anti-gravity has over Lamont's unit is the anti-gravity comes with a leather case with all these cables in it. Now, from my point of view, when I carry mine on the Spyder, I take it out of this case because this just takes up too much room, you know. When you're on your Spyder going on a trip, storage is at a premium, even on an RT, in my opinion. So I usually take it out and just carry the jump with me, and then carry my iPhone USB cable rather than the whole package of cables. So just some tips there from me. So the case is no big deal. You know, it might be great in your car, but the Lamonster unit does not come with that. But again, no big deal for me. You just stuff his unit in the nice little bag that it comes in along with the jumper set, and that's good enough for me. So just some differences there between the anti-gravity. Again, for 50 bucks, and the fact that this has 2 ports plus a digital readout plus the safety on-off switch just does it for me. My anti-gravity will probably go in my car now and just stay there for sure, and this will go in my Spyder. All right. So other than that, that is the differences between the two. I highly recommend this product. I love the dang digital display that shows you how much you're drawing, how much it's actually got in it versus some LED bars, the 2 ports. It's just a better unit in my opinion. And then with the fact that it's 1,000 amp peak versus 400 of the anti-gravity, if you want to get that kind of peak out of the more expensive boxes like the anti-gravity that have been around a while, you're going to spend a heck of a lot more than 150 too. All right, so I can't praise this unit enough. Love the tread tire look, and it just really a great unit. I highly recommend anybody who's on a Spyder carrying one of these. So I hope this video was useful. I hope it explained the unit and what it is and the differences between it and other units out there. Again, I consider this a definite unit to get, especially for the price of $109. Hope this was helpful, and we'll see you all out on the road. Hey folks, sorry about the video quality, but I'm on my webcam. But I wanted to give a real-life experience about this product. So the video you just watched was a review video that I had done shortly after receiving the product, and then ran into a real-world experience later. What happened was I drove my SUV to the corner 7-Eleven store just to pick up some stuff. And what happened was when I left the house, I noticed the battery light was on my dash when the car was idling. And if I accelerated, the light would go out. But the minute I let off the gas or was idling or whatever, the battery light would come back on. I'm thinking, all right, something's not right. But so you understand how an alternator works. If it's not charging your battery, it's a short period of time before your battery is gone. I didn't know what the problem was. The 7-Eleven was less than a mile away, and pulled in, walked in, then came out and talked to some friends I ran into, came out and went to start the car, and click, 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 click. You know, the usual click of, oh my God, I'm in trouble. So at the time, I had the anti-gravity battery in my car. So I pulled it out, hooked it up, hit the button, started the car, unhooked it, put it back. The minute I went into reverse to drive, it wasn't long, and the car quit. When you don't have a battery and an alternator producing current into the alternator to charge the battery back and run the car, it's a short period of time, especially once you start driving. So needless to say, I had backed out, and now I'm blocking the entrance in and out of the parking lot, so it was a little embarrassing. So I had some guys push me back into a parking spot, which was slightly uphill, and kind of a pain, especially for an SUV. But hooked up the anti-gravity battery again. It would not start that car again. It was done after the first start. So I called my wife, and I told her, hey, dear, pick this up in my room, my underground bunker, which you're seeing here, the mess. It's my underground man cave. And she did, and I told her to bring some other stuff, some tools and some other things, and she did. Anyway, needless to say, I still didn't understand what was going on. I was thinking it might be the alternator, but try to keep the story short here. I hooked this up, started up the car, unhooked it, put it in dropped the hood, put it in drive, died. So here I was again blocking part of the parking lot. Hooked it up again, it started it again, put it in drive, started to accelerate away, died. So this time I'm like, okay, the third time I hooked it up, and it started my SUV 6-cylinder Mazda Tribute again, but this time I said, you know what? If the alternator's not working, it's not going to charge the battery, and the loop is just going to drain the battery. So I left this hooked up, dropped the hood of my car, and didn't latch it because I didn't want the hood to unhook it. And I actually got home, leaving this hooked to the car. It basically was my car battery that got me far enough to get back. Now, again, it was less than a mile. You know, don't expect this to take you far if you run into that condition at all. But it got me home. I didn't need a tow truck, thank goodness. Later that weekend, I changed the alternator, and everything was good. But I just want to say again, my point is, and this is real world experience here, and I'm being 100% honest. The gravity battery, one start, it was done. This thing started me 3 times and then kept going. Real world experience, and I wanted to share that to let you know that the product is solid, very solid. Now, I'm going to admit my anti-gravity battery pack that you saw in the review is a year and a half, 2 years old. Um, so maybe if it was brand new, it might have done it. Maybe not. The bottom line is this product, seriously. And I'm not trying to be a product whore here, and I'm not trying to sell anything, and I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just telling you real world experience. So I thought that would help. Anyway, maybe we'll see you guys on the road. Hope to do. You guys all have a good one. Guys and gals all have a good one. And I thought I'd share real world experience with the product.